The room was full of people who believed they had already seen everything. Polished shoes on marble floors, glass cases glowing under perfect white light, watches that cost more than houses, ticking softly like they knew they were important. This was a European horology exhibition, the kind where time isn't just measured, it's worshipped. And standing slightly off to the side, almost invisible, was a Filipino craftsman with a small wooden display case. No spotlight, no crowd, no reputation in the room. Most people walked past without slowing down. Until one man laughed. He was a Swiss expert, well known, well respected, the kind of authority people listened to without question. He had spent decades surrounded by steel, gold, and sapphire crystal. Mechanical perfection. Tradition. He stopped in front of the wooden watches and shook his head. "Wood?" he said, loud enough for others to hear. "That's not watchmaking. That's a souvenir." A few people chuckled politely. The Filipino craftsman smiled, not out of embarrassment, but habit. He had heard worse before. Back home, abroad, online. Anywhere people believe excellence only came from certain places. He didn't argue. He didn't explain. He didn't defend himself. He simply opened the case. Inside was a watch unlike anything else in the hall. Not shiny, not loud, but precise. The case was carved from reclaimed Nara wood. Aged, warm, alive with grain patterns that no factory could replicate. The face was minimal, almost humble, but when the Swiss expert leaned closer, just to be sure, his expression changed. Because the movement wasn't decorative. It was functional, mechanical, complex, and it wasn't imported. The craftsman explained quietly, almost apologetically, that he had built the movement himself. Modified, reinforced, designed to work with wood, not against it. Wood expands, wood breathes, wood changes. Every watchmaker in that room knew how impossible that sounded. The Swiss expert crossed his arms. "How accurate?" he asked. The craftsman gave a small shrug. "Plus or minus 2 seconds a day." That was enough to make people stop walking. Someone pulled out a loop. Another asked permission to hold it. A third asked where it was made. "Laguna," the craftsman said. "In my workshop." The laughter didn't return. Questions did. How long did it take? How many failed attempts? What tools? What training? The craftsman answered honestly. Years. Many failures. Mostly hand tools. No formal Swiss schooling. He learned by breaking things, by fixing what couldn't be fixed, by refusing to believe that tradition belonged to only one country. Someone asked the price. The craftsman hesitated. $2 million, he said softly. Silence, not disbelief, calculation. Collectors began to circle. Phones came out. Photos were taken. Whispers spread through the hall. A wooden watch, priced like a masterpiece. The Swiss expert didn't laugh this time. He asked to see the back. The craftsman turned the watch over. The movement was visible through a sapphire window. Gears interlocking with impossible precision. Metal and wood coexisting without warping, without compromise. Each piece was engraved by hand. Each component signed. One of a kind. A collector asked why it cost so much. The craftsman thought for a moment. "Because I cannot make another like it," he said. "Even if I tried." That was the moment the room changed. Because true luxury isn't repetition. It's irreproducibility. The Swiss expert finally spoke again. Quieter now. "Who taught you?" he asked. The craftsman smiled. "My father," he said. "He carved boats. I carved time." By the end of the day, the watch was no longer on display. It had been sold, not as a novelty, not as a joke, but as a statement. News spread quickly. Headlines followed. Videos circulated online. People argued, some still insisting it was impossible, others realizing they had just witnessed history bend slightly in a direction they hadn't expected. The Swiss expert later issued a public apology. Not dramatic, not defensive. Simple. "I was wrong," he said. "Craft has no passport." The Filipino craftsman returned home weeks later. Back to his workshop. Back to the smell of wood and oil. Back to quiet mornings where time moved slower. Exactly how he liked it. He didn't expand, didn't open a factory, didn't chase demand. He went back to making one thing at a time, because the goal was never to silence anyone. It was to prove something to himself, that excellence can come from anywhere, that tradition can be rewritten, and that sometimes the loudest statement in the world is made, not with gold, not with steel, but with patience, with hands, and with time.